Hello YouTube, this is Brian Tubbs coming back at you with another video. Today I'm working on this new piece. We're not sure what the name of it is going to be, but I'll show you guys a quick picture of it. It's kind of a descendant from the piece Guardian. I have a thumbnail up here. We made this Guardian piece for Tesla. Sometime, it was probably about, I don't know, 10 months ago. And so we're coming with a piece somewhat similar, but different. It's kind of along that same vein, though, if you will, but it's going to be different. Now I'll show you a quick picture of it. We haven't come up with the name or anything like that for it. It's it's right there. So hopefully you guys can see that. It doesn't have a sword like the one Guardian. It's just going to be different. It's more like it's like a Japanese kind of piece, kind of theme. It can be in a person's garden. They can have chairs set up around, like a place where they meditate, that kind of thing. So it's kind of along that line. Whereas Guardian was more, we called it Guardian of Peace. So it was like guarding the perimeters of the Tesla location. And we also built a second piece for Tesla, which is this guy here. Totally different from the Guardian piece, but And so in the last video, I was making, it was the piece that would go on along the side. Where on Guardian it was like a sword piece, but on this one it's just kind of just more free-flowing stainless steel piece. That's just an accent piece, to the rest of the sculpture. And I got it finished. I think in the last video I showed you guys a cardboard cutout, and then I think I showed you like the sides of it. But I'm gonna show you the finished piece. And this is what it looks like finished. It's again, it's all stainless steel, as you can see. About 4.5 inches wide across this front portion. Weighs probably about 25 pounds at this point. And I got to make some brackets to hold it, to the side of the piece. So it's going to be kind of standing sort of like this along the side of the piece. It's kind of hard to see here, but that's kind of what it's going to look like. So this piece, like I said, is all finished. And so now, I think after that video, the last one, I went on to bore the holes in we call it a shield, if you want to call it that. And this is the thing we came up with. So it's going to go like right down the front of the piece, and I bored holes in here, and so this will lay on top of this piece. And I have an identical piece to this underneath here, lying on the table, and I've tacked that to the other side of this I-beam, and then this will set on here, will set on top of these pipes, and it will be welded to this side, and then I'll have to TIG weld the pipes to these holes. And this is negative space, so when the piece is standing up, you'll be able to see through the piece. And so this, like I said, it'll just be sitting on top of here, and it'll just sit right on top of those holes. And it'll have to be, I'll have to weld it in through here. I just tack it in here. And it'll have to be TIG welded here. And then I'll have to, I'm gonna put a piece of core 10 on the back side to close that off, so you won't be able to through there and see the pipes and how they're connected and all that kind of stuff. But today I'm really just going to be just showing you guys kind of how I tack this thing up, how I get it level and all that kind of stuff. So the piece is kind of coming together now, and so I'm starting to feel, you know, better about it, because like I said, it's a brand new piece. And whenever you're doing something new and different, it always takes, you know, thinking. This is not a piece that we have, you know, made. I mean, we made one somewhat similar with the Guardian piece, but they're different enough to have to really think my way through this. All right, so what I'm gonna do, go ahead and move the camera in so you guys can get a closer view of what I'm doing here. All right, guys, I got you in a little bit closer. And so this is the I-beam. These are the pipes that I was referring to. And this is the shield on the opposite side. I have just tack welded to the back side of this. And then it's tack welded to the opposite side of these pipes, the pipes that are down on the table. These are going to be just open holes, like this negative space. So when this piece is standing up, these will be toward the bottom. The base will be on this end down here. I just go to probably about a 2-inch or 3-inch tall base on a plate that this will sit on. And so what I have to do is just put the shield on this portion here. And the way I made these shields is I cut 2 pieces that are identical. And after I cut them, you have to grind them and shape them so they'll be, you know, perfectly the same, exact. And then I took one, put on the other back side of this one, tack welded the 2 pieces together, the top shield, the front shield and back shield, welded them, just tacked them in a few spots just to hold them together. And then I took what's called a hole saw. Get you guys a closer view. This is a hole saw. This is not the one I used, but I mean, it's similar. This is a little bit smaller. This is a 2.5-inch hole saw, which is what I used for the stainless steel piece I just showed you guys. I bored the holes through the stainless steel with this size. But I used different sizes for these holes and the holes on the lower portion down there. But this is what's considered a hole saw. This goes on your drill. It has another bit that comes through here as an attachment, and you just bore a hole through the metal, and this will follow that hole that you have drawn out or whatever, and it'll bore right through the metal. It can take a while because you got to spray some cutting oil on the metal so this doesn't get too hot, because if it gets too hot, you can destroy the teeth on it. And if you're working on stainless steel, if it gets too hot, the stainless steel is going to work harden, and it'll be so hard that you won't be able to cut through it. And at that point, you have to get like a plasma cutter or something to cut through it. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is just put this on here and get it lined up. And with the holes here on this I-beam, I made those a little bit wider than these holes on here, because when I put the pipe through, I want to have some wiggle room with these pipes so that I can get everything lined up, you know, just right. I don't want to have the holes in this I-beam exactly the same as the holes in these shields, because it could have thrown it off, could have had it like kind of, you know, shifted in one way or whatever. Because when you drill these holes, you are hoping to get exactly what you're drilling for, but you might be thrown off forward, back, up, down, 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, somewhere in there. So in order for this thing to work, I had to make these holes a little bit bigger. Then I put little brackets on it in certain places, just as added support. because it's these brackets really that's holding these tubes in place really. I mean, they'll be welded to the back shield and the front shield, but that's still not going to keep them from, you know, moving up and down if the piece, as we handle the piece or when it's in a trailer being moved. I don't want these pipes moving up and down because the shields will move up and down. So I just welded them in place. They can't move now. So I just got to put the shield on here. And the important thing about when you're doing, you know, identical pieces of front and back, if you're using a plasma table or a CNC table or something like that, and you have it programmed in, then you can make these pieces, you know, separately, because they're going to be close to identical. You know, if the CNC machine or laser cut or whatever it is cutting them out, you know, properly, you can get two pieces that are almost the same or close to the same. But if you're freehanding it, like I was doing, it's very difficult to get a front piece and a back piece the same as far as, you know, the hole location. So that's why I take the front and back, sandwich them together, tack them together, and whatever I do to this side is going to be the same on the other piece, because they're one piece as I'm doing the piece, because I welded them basically together. And I tack it like, just say here, 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 and a couple tacks on the back, so they can't slide away from each other. They remain the same. And again, whatever I do on this side will happen on the opposite side of on the other piece. Because when I put these on the pipes, I need them to be lined up almost perfectly, because I'm gonna put another piece here, a little wall, and I'll show you guys. I'm gonna put this wall here that's gonna butt to the front of this shield and the back shield. It's gonna close it off. You won't just see these edges. When you look at it from this side, you'll see this enclosure's wall. So those are just some things to kind of think about when you're doing, you know, something like this. Always butt your pieces together, weld them together, just tack weld them together. And then if you're cutting holes, you're going to bore through both pieces in the exact same spot. All right. So this, just slid right on, as you can see. If I bored this one and then I bored the other one separately, these holes would probably not line up. And if the holes did line up, the piece would probably not line up, because right now the front of this edge and this edge are the same. The front right here and this point and this point, same location. The same on the bottom, same location. So it's lined up as good as you can get without, you know, using a CNC table or a water jet or something like that, as far as, you know, hole location and the way these are cut and all that kind of stuff. So again, sandwich them together, make your cuts on the one, and whatever you do on this one is going to transfer over to the other one. And that's how you do it. I didn't mean to stay on that so long, but that's the way to do it. Okay, so now I have this sitting on here. I have to have this level. Or if I weld it like this and I stand the piece up, this shield could be either tapering in this way, or it can be coming out this way. I want to have it laying flat on here. So what I'm gonna do is just take this little level, lay it on here, look at my bubble position, then I'll put it on here and try and get that same bubble position. Let me find that point, pretty much right in the center. Because my table is level, that means the I-beam is gonna be level, and then I want this piece to be level with the I-beam. So I'll put this on here and just move this up until I find somewhere close to center. Doesn't have to be perfect. And what that right there is telling me is that horizontally, this piece is in line with the I-beam. It's not puckering out, sticking out this way, nor is it too deep that way. It's pretty level, based on this level anyway. So now for me to keep this from moving, I'm going to just take this. I made a piece of cardboard, a flat disc, and this hole saw is about the same height as this front wall. So what I'm gonna do now is just kind of slide it under here, just to hold this kind of in position. While I get ready to tack it in. And I know this is good because it's lining up with this, and it has to be good because it's so tight to the holes. Now around these holes, around these pipes, there is, I don't know, maybe a 64th gap in this shield around this pipe. And what I'm saying is there's no room for this shield to move up, down, frontwards, back. It's right on there, it's locked on there. That's how tight this setup is, or this fitting is. So it was bored out nearly perfectly to the outer diameter of these pipes, because I can't move it forward, I can't move it up and down. There's no room to move it. It just barely fit on, but that's what I wanted. I wanted it to just slide on there and not move, because if these moved, then they could be out of position with the one on the back side. So what I'm gonna do now is just make sure everything is nice and tight. I'm just gonna run a few tacks in a few locations, just so you guys can kind of see how I'm doing this thing. Let me fire up this welder. And so what I'm going to do, let's move this out of the way. So what I'm going to do is just go under here and just tack the underside of this outer shield, if you will, to this pipe, so it won't move. And then after that, I'll go to the front and just tack underneath here in a few locations, just to keep it locked in and keep it from trying to move. And let me see here. Just trying to make sure everything is set up. Yeah, pretty good. Not bad at all. Let me get a few tacks in here. If I can get this thing under here. Yeah, maybe I'll just do it from the top. What I want to do is I want to get a couple tacks, but I don't want to get any spatter into the pipe, because it's difficult getting the spatter out of there once it's in there. And I will be, I'll most likely be TIG welding these at some point. And it won't be just MIG welded, it'll be probably most likely TIG welded in there. Make sure I'm still good. Still looking pretty good. And again, the reason I did this is because when I tack in here, this is going to want to raise up. So I figured I'll just lock it in place, and then I can go in here and put a few tacks under there to hold that in position. I think I'm gonna get a couple clamps and just put on here just to lock it down. Be sure it's locked down. Just take them, just set them on here. And that's the beauty again of this fixture table. I just set it down and just lock it in. And I'm doing this so it won't try and raise up or anything else. I'm just kind of use a precaution, I guess. And it's just that simple with these. With this fixture table, just that simple. I grab my welder and just run a few tacks. All right, here we go. And I'm going right into this corner, right in there on the upper portion there. And this is core 10, 11 gauge. The shield's 11 gauge, and this the I-beam is like probably 3/8 somewhere in there. Now the one on Guardian, the I-beam on Guardian was 1/4 inch, and that thing was like 400 and some pounds. I forget finished. So what I'm doing with this one is just making this lighter weight than that Guardian. Because at this point, the I-beam itself is 70 pounds, and then two of these together is probably about 15 pounds, somewhere in there. So I'm just doing my best to keep the weight down. I'm trying to make it as structurally sound as I possibly can, without overdoing it. Because I really don't feel that I need to weld this in every area to make it stick. I think that's just kind of overkill. But I think I'll go in between a couple of these welds and just put an extra little tack in there in a few areas. I think this might be okay. Yes, I think that's solid enough, I think. Yeah, I think it'll be okay. It's about every inch it's tacked in. Then I'll be putting the other wall across the front and welding that in. Put a top on, be welding that to that wall, and I'll do it on the same on the underside. So I think it'll be okay. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna have to do is get a piece from here all the way down to this bottom end. Got to get a measurement of from the I-beam to the top of this. I need to get a measurement because I'm gonna enclose this area back here. Because when I was saying that I'm gonna have to put a backing on here so you won't have to be able to look in there and see all the welds under there on the pipes and the brackets and whatnot. I'm just gonna run a piece all the way across here to do that. All right, so that'll be up next.